Welcome aboard, and tonight we have CatZero. They're an award-winning personal development charity working across the Humber region. So let me introduce Pete Tighe, where he's going to tell you a little bit more about it. Over to you, Pete.
Cheers, Gail. So welcome everybody. My name, as Gail said, is Pete Tighe. I'm Programme Manager for CatZero. So what is CatZero? In a name, CatZero is Category Zero. It's the maritime coding for the vessel, which that one there behind me, which is a 72-foot challenge yacht, which is designed to go around the world against the harshest conditions. And when we got this yacht, we thought, you know, what is the best way to name a youth development charity? And that's how the name came about. It's about no limits, about no boundaries. So that's how we named the charity. We work with lots of different people. As I say, we've been going for 12 years now, and we're based in Hull. Wow. We work with lots of different people. So we work with families, we work with long-term unemployed people, we work with young people that are NEET. So when we started 12 years ago, it was working with the NEET client group of the city. NEET means not in education, employment or training. And Hull had a major problem at the time. So we were 50% over the national average of the NEET population. And what was happening in the city wasn't really changing. So we thought we'll do something different. We had the funding to run the project. And from there, we went out and sourced the funding to buy a yacht. And it worked really, really well. We overachieved on our targets. We moved 65% of young people into training and education, which is something that we're really proud of. So that was a 3-year contract. After that, it was like, oh, actually, the climate has changed a little bit. The NEET problem couldn't be solved nationally, so it was sort of relabeled a bit. And then it was all young people had to then stay in education, as they do now, up until 18. So we ended up working with the job centre. We must have run probably about 30 programs for the job centre, from people 24 up to retirement age. And that worked really well. And these were programs that were in 12-week blocks. And it's all based around addressing people's underlying issues. It's about working with people and sort of saying, where are you now? Where do you want to be? How can we sort out what's going on in your life and get you to where you want to be? And from that, it's evolved and it's moved on to work with military veterans. We're working with about 13 veterans at present, and we've been doing this for the past 3 years, and it's something that we're really proud of. I'm not from a military background. My family is. I was born in Germany as Pad's brat. My dad was in the army, my mum was a nurse and travelled around a bit, that sort of stuff. But when it was time for me to go to school, I did, and we settled down in this area. So yeah, that's my background a bit, but I'm really passionate about doing this stuff for the services and really trying to get people out of maybe a rut that they're in. We've been supported by the ABF Soldiers Charity, by the RAF Benevolent Fund, and we're currently funded by Positive Pathways through the Armed Forces Covenant. And that is enabling us to work with veterans and Army reservists who are really maybe struggling with mental health a little bit. They can be working, so we work with generally the long-term unemployed, but this one we're allowed people, as long as they can do an activity a week and are working, they can still access our services.
Oh, so, that's great.
Yeah, it's a massive program, and it's something that we're really trying to promote at the moment.
So tell me more about the program. So what does it entail for the veterans? So how does it, so you say it's a 12-week program. So what does that entail? Well, it used to be 12 weeks.
It used to be 12 weeks long, but the one that we're promoting now, we had a chat with the Covenant, and most of our veterans are needing a little bit more support off us. So what we've said is we will do activities 1 day a week, and then people can come in for their one-to-one action planning sessions. But other than that, they can get access for a year now, which is, we feel it's a lot better. And through talking to the veterans that we work with, they're happy to do it over a year because they're feeling that they're needing more support.
That's brilliant.
Some of the things that we're doing, if you see behind me here, there's all sorts of things.
You're going to have to, yeah, we can't quite see though. You have to read it out.
Okay. But we call it a co-designed program. We chat to the group, what would you like to do? What sort of floats your boat? You know, we offer qualifications, we offer personal development programs. We might go dinghy sailing, we might go hiking, We've been doing the stuff with the Pad Foundation, looking at planting trees. We've been doing conservation work and building jetties at outdoor centres. So generally you'll find that veterans are quite practical. They want to get stuck in. So, we'll have a go and we'll work hard and we'll play hard too. So we're also looking at employability work. So it's about creating your new CV, adapting some of the old skills you maybe had in the services and how we can relate that into the modern day world. So it's, people are very adaptable, but we need to write that in a certain way to make sure that employers are aware of some of the skills that you guys have got, as well as about interview techniques. For some people, they haven't had an interview in 20 odd years because they've had a full career in the military. So it's how can we get those guys up to speed and get them back into the labour force if that's what they're looking for. But this programme is really about mental health, and it's been needed, especially through these COVID times. We've had to adapt our programmes and some of the things that we've been doing, but when we've been able to get out, we will. And it's worked really, really well. Unfortunately, this year, we haven't been sailing with the group, but the challenge yacht that we've got there is a fantastic life-changing experience for the guys. We're looking at 8-day voyages where you'd leave Hull and you'd end up maybe 8 days later in the Orkney Isles and then come back to Hull again. We might go down to the Isle of Wight. The last veterans group went down to the Isle of Wight, had a fantastic time, but it's not a holiday. It really isn't. You've got to drive the boat. You're doing 4 hours on, 4 hours off watches, 3 hours on, 3 hours off at night. You're pulling up the sails. You're steering the boat. You're doing the cooking, the cleaning. You might be doing all that with your head in a bucket. Can't guarantee it's not going to be a little bit poorly.
That'd be me.
All right? But the guys that have got off it have like, wow, it really has brought me back to life. It's reignited my passion for stuff. It's got me involved with the team again, and it's created friendships. And that's what the whole program is. It's about creating a CatZero community and getting the veterans where they can start to support each other as well.
Absolutely, I totally agree. It's a very different minefield on obviously being in the forces, depending on what regiment you're in. Going back into civilian life, people and programs and charities like yourself are massively important to helping. I'd like to touch on the mental health and the well-being side. So obviously I've been out planting trees with the Pat Foundation and with the veterans. Obviously now with the Green Task Force, we've got a mammoth force massively all over the UK and growing daily. So how's the effects on their well-being with the courses? What's your success rate with that?
To give you an example, it's been hard with this current group because through COVID there's not been that much movement into work, but the previous group there was 10 participants on it and 7 went into jobs, which is something that we're really proud of.
Right.
But generally, when we see somebody, they're coming in with quite a lot of issues. Heads are down, and it's about us trying to remotivate people. And when we sort of say, right, this is what we're going to do, it's like, oh, okay, I'll give that a bash. And then we might go tree planting. We might go to Welton Waters and go, what we did there was a sort of special project where it says, right, well, that centre is run by veterans as well. It just happens that one guy's RAF and one guy's Navy. And we went in and we built some jetties. We then said, instead of us paying you to come and do this sort of stuff, we'll give you free sessions. So the guys were then going dinghy sailing, they're going kayaking, doing open water swimming, that sort of stuff. And the guys were like, wow. And you could see their heads standing proud again, big smiles on the faces and feeling tired for the right reasons, not because they're mentally drained through, the humdrum of life. So the more we do that sort of stuff, going out hiking, going through the woods, it's a proven medical fact that green spaces are good for you. Exactly. So, we're going out and we're doing these things. And even, just going out for a walk, it's an opportunity for us to walk and talk to the guys and sort of say, how are we doing? And it builds in our one-to-one sessions while we're having a chat and a walk, because we can then follow that back in the office. And
I totally agree.
It's allowing people to sort of vent their issues, say their concerns, and we're doing it in a non-threatening environment. One of the things we found through COVID as well, our office, we literally shut down, but we've sort of said, right, we're going to keep going our walk and talk sessions. Instead of doing a one-to-one in a room, we're going off and we're going for a walk along the Humber embankment. We're going for a walk through town and around the marina and just talking about stuff. and people are really relishing that time to come out and do things, and they're opening up more as we're doing it as well. So the mental health issues are being addressed, and we're not an expert in everything. We're just a piece of the jigsaw puzzle, and we bring in the appropriate services from around the city that can work with the ingrained issues that these people have got. It could be finance, it could be specific mental health issues, it could be PTSD, it could be family breakups, all these sort of things. We can get people to the appropriate services, but they see us as a hub. And they see us as a community where they can come in and get support and gain enthusiasm and gain motivation, get that spark back. That's what CatZero is about with the veterans, to then sort of say, right, now I'm ready to address that issue in my life, and yes, I want to work now and I want to move on, or I might be retired and I've gained a new community and a new friendship. That's what we're doing. And we did one of these intro events up at a scout camp, and that picture's there, everybody sat in a circle, and we had about 15 veterans there. One of the guys had been street homeless for 12 years. And he came in, he sat there and he was hugging his jacket potato that we fed him. He was like, this is the best meal I've had in ages. It's really quite hard hitting stuff. We had another guy that was on that session and could do everything. He's ex-warrant officer, in charge of a number of guys. He was a Royal Engineer, and he was like, this is great, do this, At the end of the day, we stood in a circle and we said, something that you've enjoyed today, something that you feel that you've got out of it. And he just stood there and cried because he couldn't talk about his personal feelings.
Wow.
But now we've gotten to the point where he can do this, and he's addressed the issues in his life.
It is. It's about confidence building, isn't it?
Yeah, and the CatZero is all about relationships. It's about building up people that can support you and bringing the right people to be around you. That's what CatZero is about, and bringing the people in that are the specifics that can help you out with this sort of stuff. So that's why it works, really. We're sort of a bit of a jack of all trades, and then we bring in the experts to help us out as and when it's needed.
So how do they get in contact with you, Pete? How do they get to join on
Hopefully
this
we can put out a link for us, but it's nice and easy. It's you can just Google CatZero and it'll just come up. But info@catzero.org is our email address. I can give you a phone number as well, which is my mobile number, which is 07773
Perfect
895 932, and that's my works mobile. Veterans can give us a ring, and essentially there's another staff member called Joe who'd be working with any veterans that wanted to come to us, and from there we just fill in the paperwork and do proof of service checks and all that sort of stuff. But essentially we're looking for veterans that want to offer a bit of commitment to it, day a week, and then pop in for one-to-ones as well. So it's really sort of a day and a half's involvement, and you could get a year's worth of support. But really what we're trying to do is build up this cohort while we're in COVID times. So what we're offering on COVID times is remote support, where we'll do Zoom chats like this. We'll fill in the paperwork. It'll be phone calls a couple of times a week just for a chat and see what we can do. And it might be that you've got finance issues that we can help you out with. It might be that we make referrals to people if they've got mental health issues while we're doing that. But we're a friendly sort of face at the end, or a friendly ear at the end of the phone, that people can call us and get some support.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'd like to ask our lovely guest tonight if there's any questions for Pete. Thanks very much for that presentation. Very informative, and yes, the work that you do is massively worthwhile. So, and I know that Adi will post out the links to anybody that wants it. And obviously this is recorded tonight, so it will be going out on the Green TV Pat Foundation YouTube channel, along with my Gail Acaster YouTube channel as well. So check that out, all of you. So yeah, has anybody got any questions, or was there anything else? Oh
yeah, go for Andy.
Oh, there we go.
Evening all, Pete. Yeah, I am in awe of the work that you do.
Cheers.
Do you get support from Hull City Council and East Riding of Yorkshire Council? And is there anything else that they need to step up? Where do they need to be?
Well, I'm part of the Covenant groups, the task force there, so working on those with them. So they help promote what we do. We don't get any financial support off them. It's all done exterior national sort of funding. So the Armed Forces Covenant Trust and the Army Benevolent Funds. supporters. So, but they help out with the publicity, they help out with, they are another piece of the jigsaw puzzle when we need that support. So yeah, they're well aware of us and what we do.
Brilliant.
Good question, Andy. Yeah.
I could see that you're going to knit with so many of their services, be it adult social services, but also the great outdoor services that they run as well.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff that we can do, and it's you know, as I said, it's a co-designed program, so it's up to the veterans when they're with us to go, actually, I'd like to have a go at this, and as long as it's safe, we'll get them to do it, and it's their program then.
Brilliant. Thank you.
No,
Brilliant. Thanks, Andy. Great question. Anybody else got any questions? Oh,
I've got a simple one for Pete, really. I think CatZero is based in Hull, but you've got people from further afield. So where are you getting guys from, and how far afield can you go to get them into your program?
yeah, well,
question.
it's up to the participant really. If they wanted to travel to us, say if we said, right, every Wednesday is going to be the activity day, if they wanted to travel to us to do that, that's not a problem to me. The last full program that we did was, 12-weeker. We split that between Hull and Grimsby, and we did the commuting. We put people in a minibus and we split the venues up. But if we're going to run it out of Hull and people have got transport, so we might be doing a tree planting session in a school somewhere or in a forest. Not that you planted many trees in forest, but you know what I mean. So we would say to people, this is where you need to meet us, and then we'll do the activity. So yeah, we're quite flexible with this. If there's a need there and people want to meet up to us, I mean, really, unfortunately, we don't have a budget for funding transport, but any specialist equipment, we can loan people. They'd be fed on the day and all that lot, and then they'd need to come in for a one-to-one. However, we're in the new world. We can do it remotely if people wanted to.
Yeah, I think just from that point, what we've got with Andy and Brad from Bridlington, it's awareness of what you do. We know in the Hull area, but I don't think in the outer reaches the message is getting there. So connections like SAFA and the RBL might be worthwhile exploring. And if we can put you in touch with them guys, just to showcase what you're doing. And
I mean, we've got links to the local SAFAs and all that sort of stuff, and that's great. I mean, I don't want to spread it too far because we don't know all the other jigsaw puzzles that are out there. So we need to keep it within the reaches of what we can actually practically work. But say if we had somebody that wanted to come from Lincoln, not a problem. Somebody that wanted to come down the M62 corridor because it was only an hour away, not a problem. If people were traveling from Liverpool for the day, it's maybe a bit of a stretch. So if we can keep it within sort of an hour and a half's area, people are happy to come from Bridlington, no worries. And those outlying areas, that's not a problem to me. But, if they're going to start traveling a distance, we could probably make it work. But is that actual support going to be there? Because we don't know everybody around us. And yes, we could put on the likes of SAFA and, the Army trusts that are around. That's not a problem. But it's sort of watering down what we do a little bit.
Understand that, and I've been talking to a lot of people about what you guys do and just saying I think they should get in touch. It might be something that would be interested not just to your veterans group but to your organization. There's a multitude of different things that are outdoors, so if you get some unusual calls, it might be from me.
No worries. I mean, it's tricky, isn't it? I mean, the veterans one is the only one for us that isn't postcode specific. You work with European money and you can live on the wrong side of the street and you can't come in, So we are very sort of bound by the areas we work in, apart from with veterans where, the charities just go, if there's somebody in need, work with them.
Wow.
Perfect. Thank you. Good question. So anybody else have any questions for Pete? Just looking at our panel of guests there.
See more and more new faces, which is positive.
Yes. Hello. We didn't. I didn't actually say hello to Michael Harvard, Paul Webb, or Deborah Regan as we introduced. So hello and thanks for joining us.
Where are people joining us from today then?
I'm in Portsmouth currently.
Right. Yeah, a bit of a stretch.
I'm in South Wales.
South
I
Wales.
sort of looked into the different webinars and things like that are out there because my mental health. I've got the mental health, probably the money, the separation, the divorce. I got it, PTSD. I've kind of got it all going on at the minute. So I'm just kind of touching base and seeing what's out there, what I can try and get myself back on track.
There's a good app that you can get from the Armed Forces Covenant. we're on it, and it gives you a map of whatever is around your area. It gives it nationally, and all the mental health projects and stuff like us is all on that, and it is quite an interesting thing to go on to.
I mean, I have seen a new PDF that's out today that actually had quite a lot of stuff on there that I've not seen before. So I'm sort of sat at home pushing it out to our guys as well.
Yeah.
The best thing is to reach out, Deborah, and well done for doing that. You know, you've got to reach out. There's so many organisations out there, and it's with COVID at the moment, it's not the greatest time to sort of suffer and be on your own, and you know, which is why it's important to reach out and you know, get outside. I keep banging on about the forest and the boost and everything, but it does. A 20-minute walk when you're feeling low, you know, from personal experience, it does actually boost your mental health. So
I think that's why I've dipped. So I had to leave my children with my husband just because of like obviously the work I do and the fact that I wanted to keep them within the schools and the childcare and everything already in. That means I've obviously not seen them, but I've just had to have like sort of 2 lots of isolation just before and since Christmas, which is just sitting on your own, literally without anyone to do it. Like,
and you're not on your own. You're not on your own. There's a lot of people that are going, and you know, so going on online Zoom things and reaching out, you know, even if it's walking to your local shop and saying hello to a random stranger, it does help. But reach out, Deborah, and thanks for joining us. Appreciate that.
If you with you being in Portsmouth, our boat is often down there. If you're ever around the marina areas and
just
stuff,
about to ask that. Just about to ask it.
Sort of say you was on a chat and go and have a look. I won't be there, but you can do.
Have you actually thought about running courses at Portsmouth? You know, because obviously, if you think about it, that's where majority of, like, you know, Aldershot, Portsmouth, Plymouth, where all, you know, a lot of veterans are like located.
Good.
Have you actually thought about that? Maybe doing like maybe a couple of months down there or something?
Yeah, but we're only a small organisation. We're a staff of 16. It takes a lot to wear this blue t-shirt, and we don't want to water it down by having other members of staff go off that we don't know. And so really, our remit is the Humber corridor. So we've worked in Grimsby. We've got an office in Grimsby. We're working in Scunthorpe. We're working in Goole. We've worked in Bridlington. So anywhere really within an hour of Hull, that's where we will work. Any bigger than that, we're going to lose who we are, I feel.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Perfect. Well, your presentation was obviously spot on, because that's it. I've got no more questions coming in. So unless there's anything else you've missed or added, I think we've covered everything. And CatZero, brilliant job. I know we're working together in the veterans world, so yes, it's great. So if anybody's got any more questions, I'm going to say goodbye. And thanks ever so much for joining us, and look out for the video on the YouTube.
Yeah, spread the word.
Thank you.
Well,
Yes, Pete.
Bye.
All right, no worries. Cheers.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Take care.
See you. Bye.
Bye.